Howdy, folks. I want to talk about multifunction printers. This is the bane of cybersecurity existence because everybody has one, and they don't typically understand the security risks that they bring, and they also don't understand the complexities of them. A multifunction printer has, just like it's described, it's got lots of different functions. It's got lots of different options. It's a scanner, it's a printer, maybe it's a fax machine, maybe it's network attached, maybe it's got Wi-Fi, maybe it's got a router built into it and it's broadcasting its own Wi-Fi so your devices can just walk up to it and join it and print and then log off, and there you go. You've got this complicated networking device that's inside your environment that's advertising all of these services. It's probably running web pages for these services. It's probably running APIs, and you're probably not patching or managing it much. Worse still, the manufacturer might not be patching or managing it much. When you think about how many printers somebody might have managed or created over the years, the patches and the security updates, most people don't worry about those things. Most vendors don't worry about those things. Now I say most. There are some good vendors out there. HP is kind of pushing forward the cybersecurity front for their printing devices because for a long time, HPs were the worst. If you broke into a network and you saw there was an old HP LaserJet 4 on the network, man, you were just taking over that JetDirect card and just manipulating SNMP and doing a whole bunch of it. We won't get into the specifics. But needless to say, that's still the case today in a lot of ways. Multifunction printers are a weak point, not just on your network, but on many networks. We're going to flash back to 2018, and you may know of a YouTuber by the name of PewDiePie. PewDiePie, for the longest time, was the most subscribed channel on YouTube. Hundreds of millions of people subscribe to PewDiePie, watch PewDiePie. He vlogged daily and talked about gaming, and there's some controversy there with some of the things he said over time. He's a celebrity. People say things to get attention. It's hard to attribute what's real, what's not real there, but that's not important. In 2018, there was this race to be the largest YouTube sensation, and T-Series, which is a multimedia outfit organization out of India, was racing PewDiePie to try and become number one. So PewDiePie and T-Series were just, for a while there, it was they were within 1,000 subscribers of each other. And then suddenly, across the world, printers everywhere start printing subscribe to PewDiePie, unsubscribe to T-Series. What? Like, can you imagine reaching over and just, your printer just prints out, hey, you need to go to YouTube. You need to subscribe to PewDiePie. Well, earlier on, we talked about network scanning. Maybe that's a video you watched. You should go back and watch it. Because we talk about going to websites called Shodan. Websites like Shodan scan your network already. Well, people had network-attached storage, multifunction printers that they had open ports to directly on the internet, so people, probably remote workers or all sorts of other opportunities or reasons why it was open, it doesn't matter. They were opening ports to the internet to an insecure device, and this particular subscriber and supporter of PewDiePie scanned 800,000 available, targetable printers, nearly 1 million printers, and he printed to over 50,000 of those printers. Subscribe to PewDiePie. Multifunction printers in general, can be a risk to your organization. They can be a risk to your home. They can be a risk to your network because they're probably something you don't log into and you don't manage. And worse, and I run into this all the time, they're probably set the default password, 123456. One is 1234567 1234567 There's a whole bunch of default passwords lists for all sorts of devices. They're well known on the internet. Printers are at the top of the list. Multifunction printers, even expensive, stand-up, collating, stapling, passwords 123, right? Real simple stuff. So when somebody gets on your network and they start scanning and they see a multifunction printer, it's almost a guarantee that they're going to gun for it, because that website software that it's running hasn't been updated or patched. It's got all sorts of vulnerabilities. The printer itself might have its hardware vulnerability. There can be all sorts of problems that multifunction printer brings to the environment, because worse, you've got a multifunction printer that's 7 years old. The manufacturer stopped supporting it 3 years ago. You look at this $100, $200, $300 device, it works perfectly. It's a workhorse. It's driving your business. It does. You already know how to use it. Why would you go buy another one? You wouldn't imagine that it's the equivalent of having a faulty lock on your house, right? Yeah, you've got a lock there, but somebody can just walk up and jiggle it and take it with a screwdriver and poof, they're inside. And that's what old multifunction printers might be. Manufacturers are getting better about this because they're being called out by people like me and people who have lots more attention than me. But it's still a concern. You need to have some visibility on those devices. You need to go at least look at them and say, all right, here's all the vulnerabilities I have because I have a printer that's 3 years old, manufacturer hasn't updated any of these patches, and you can scan these for free with lots of free scanning software that lets you understand the vulnerabilities that you actually have in your network. Be aware that the biggest risk that you have might be somebody literally on the inside, and it might be your printer. Thanks a lot. Hopefully this has been helpful.